What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube and Rumble subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's Kush back at it again with another Just Chillin podcast. Call-in show episode. We already got Mike is not here anymore. Huh. He was literally just back here. I think I may have a repeat of last week where my audio is going through just fine. But we got Mike back here. I'm gonna pop him in a second. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got LGZ, what's up, man? Namar, Kayla, Leo, Hirsch, Nate. How are you guys all doing? In terms of news, unlike last week where we had a little bit to talk about because there was a couple of pro days with the quarterbacks and then also even with Charles Cross and whatnot, this week has been a bit more quiet. I'm also not sure why it's so dark. I'll turn up the lights here. It's like very dark. I'm looking at myself on this other monitor and I'm like, it's just extremely, my bad, y'all. I don't know what was up with the lighting there. I think that should be better for everybody. Not much to talk about, right? There was the owners meeting where Brian Dable and Joe Shane were there along with the owners. And I'll drop the link in a second there for you, Nate. And the only things of note that went down, everything is interrupting me today. Oh, man, that sneeze was crazy. But the only things that came out of there, I just kept getting distracted, was the quotes about Bradberry and the quotes about Saquon.
I need a weapon.
Oh, somebody just followed me. That's what's up, man. Thank you. That's on Twitch as well. Basically, they want to keep Bradberry if they can. They want to keep Saquon if they can. I've already delayed this way too much. Let me just pop Mike on and we get this show on the road. What's up, Mike?
What's up, Kush?
What's up? How you doing, man? I'm good.
You are kind of low.
I am?
Yeah.
I am coming through my webcam, though. I know that they could hear me fine. Just turn my volume up a bit in StreamYard.
Okay. Trying to talk now.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's okay.
But what's up, man?
But yeah, there really isn't much to talk about, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish April 28th could be here already.
I'm with you there, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know what? This stream, low-key, there's nothing to talk about, y'all, unless somebody calls in with an actual topic. If y'all are down, I might just take a couple of you guys from the chat and just do a draft stream, because why not? I feel like we've been repeating, the same topics over the past couple of weeks, especially over the past couple of days. Like, how many times can we really talk about James Bradberry potentially getting traded? How many times can we talk about Saquon Barkley potentially getting traded and stuff like that? Unless, of course, somebody calls in and you got a topic you want to talk about, then you got a topic you want to talk about. Other than that, I mean, I'm down to do a live mock draft stream. And you know what? Somebody's in here right now, Mike Green. Let's see if Mike got a couple topics for us. What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Man, what's happening, gentlemen? What's good?
I'm good, man. How about you?
Man, just ready for the draft. All the speculations, all these mock drafts, all these who going where. It's getting to that point to where it's we just ready to see what happened.
Oh, 100%, man. 100%.
Yes, indeed. I can't say, though, I'm very confident we get one of these premier tackles.
Which one is your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
A corner.
Okay.
Okay.
But I wouldn't mind Evan Neal. But I love a corner.
Fair. That's rare.
Somebody big and nasty. He that individual on the O-line, if you got a problem, hey, go take care of that for me. He that guy.
And then just speaking of O-linemen, somebody just mentioned it in chat with Kayla. We've been adding a lot of good depth offensive linemen throughout free agency as well. Like Glowinski, I feel like is a legitimate starter. Feliciano, it seems like the Giants staff feels like he's a legitimate starter. But everybody else, they've been pretty good depth, and it seems like they're all coming on that veteran 1 year, maybe prove a deal, but the vet minimum or whatever. And we've improved our depth a lot. Like, so props to Shane in the front office, but in the terrible situation where like we get an injury or something this upcoming year, we should be in good hands.
I mean, also too, we don't know what we're going to do in the draft. Like I said, there's always a lot of speculation, but for hypothetically speaking, if we get Tyler Linderbaum, that's our starting center. Like,
Mhm.
there's no if and buts about it.
Mhm.
Would you trade down for him?
Yeah, I would. I would. Because I know this is going to be my starting center for at least the next decade. And I gain an extra extra picks. Because if we trade with, let's just say, somebody like Pittsburgh, we're getting a haul for the 5th overall.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So not only we going to be able to do what we can for 2022, but we're going to have a lot of fun in 2023 with cap space.
Yep.
Now, I don't want us to go crazy with the cap space next year. And by the way, thank you, Max. Max. I don't know why I said Mask. Max, I appreciate that, man. Just a new sub of the channel. Thank you so much. Now, with the cap space and with next year in general, yeah, I feel like we should, as Giants fans, just tend to stay away from spending all the money all the time now, because now it's 2 times in what the past 5 or 6 years we've done it, and it
Yeah.
hasn't really done anything. Let's just go out there and get a couple of players that are good, man. Not not the best out there, but really good ones.
Mhm.
True. Because I mean, we could spend money this year if we had wanted to, but he didn't want to kick money down the road, which was smart, which is understandable.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
we ain't broke. We the Giants. We ain't broke.
Yeah, it's a
We
good point to make that distinction, because Joe Shane specifically said exactly what you just said. He's like, I'm not trying to kick money down the road. That's like going to be a last resort. He's not trying to like just continuously push money back like the Saints they always push money back. He's trying to avoid that.
yeah, because you gotta eventually catch us up like it did to us this year.
Mhm.
It catches up with you. So you'll rather have that problem for 1 year and get that out the way so you can actually go out and get players that you want, rather than to wonder, can I afford this guy even though he would help my team?
Mhm.
But we really ain't got the money. Instead of making those type of decisions, you're like, hey, what you want? 35 guaranteed? Got it. Here you go. Welcome.
And then even then, the players that we're signing,
That I,
they're pretty good for their contracts. Like they're, it's not like we're signing, bottom of the barrel bargain brand players for bargain brand performances. They're pretty
no.
good for their prices, with the added on statement there.
I mean, for an example, Matt Breida at running back. Oh, this backfield is explosive.
Mhm.
What we had with Booker, it was consistent. I appreciate what Booker did for us, but we got 2 people on any given play now that can take it to the house.
Mhm.
The thing that I wonder with Matt Breida, and I said this when we got him in my reaction video, I was like, I noticed that ever since that 2018 season where he kind of broke out, and I think he had around 800 yards rushing and like a very respectable amount of receiving yards, his touches went down, both in San Fran and then when he moved over to his next team. They just started giving him less touches, less attempts to rush the ball and whatnot. And I gotta ask myself, why did they do that? Did they do that just because they felt they had somebody better? Or like, did he show that he lost a step in training camp or something? I hope it's not the second one, because part of me feels like maybe he just needs a little bit of a chance to get a couple more touches, and maybe we'll see the
Mhm.
guy that we saw in 2018.
What
You
I
know what Stanford? Go ahead.
what I think it was, cause I think he got hurt, and that's why. And then Mostert took over in San Fran, and they found out he's good. And when he went to Buffalo, he was already behind Singletary,
Yeah.
which Singletary isn't that good, but I feel that he's better upside than Breida.
Also,
As far
I was gonna ask which one of them is younger.
I think Singletary.
Right,
I
because
think
Matt Breida
Singletary.
is 27, and then Devin Singletary, he should only be like 24, 25. Yeah, he's 24. So yeah, that's another reason as well. You know, they drafted him. He's younger. There's a couple reasons that he's ahead there.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, Breida's a solid pickup and solid backup running back.
Mm-hmm. I definitely think it's an upgrade at the position too. Like I think I like Matt Breida a little bit more than I like Devontae Booker.
Oh, for sure.
Devontae Booker was a great backup as well. So
yeah.
And then another thing too, gentlemen, you gotta realize Matt Breida never was in a position to be the guy. When he was in San Francisco, he didn't just have Raheem Mostert. He had Tevin Coleman too that he was behind. And then when you get to Buffalo, you got Moss and you got Singletary. So with New York, he number 2. Unless we take James Cook.
Yeah, I definitely think he's best suited in a running back by committee type of role, though.
I want James Cook in the New York Giants uniform.
Where do you think he's going,
What would you take him?
I would take him with our 81st pick in the 3rd round.
That's the second 3rd round pick, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What positions would you address before that? So what are the other 4 positions that you address before that?
Okay. I would go obviously tackle with our first. Or I mean depending how the first 5 picks pan out, I'll go.
Just give me the positions. You don't got to give me the order. Just give me what positions you're going before you go running back at 81.
All right. Tackle, corner, edge, linebacker, tight end, maybe.
Tackle, edge, corner, tight end.
Mm-hmm.
I could agree with that. I could rock with that. What about you, the other Mike Green? What about you?
I'm like Mike, depending on how it goes. But if one fall, edge, tackle, tight end, then running back.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we may need a safety because Jabril just signed with the Patriots earlier today.
I think that they felt like unless they're gonna, because safety is still not that high on the list of priorities in my opinion. I think they feel like they're just gonna roll the love or maybe sign another one of these type of vets.
Or
before we continue though, go ahead.
Or if we draft Sauce, maybe just maybe Aaron Robinson can move to that Jabril Peppers role, because I remember last year they were kind of thinking on possibly to move him to be in that Jabril Peppers role.
This one?
Manny, you're in, by the way.
I don't mind Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner seems like he's going to be an excellent pro in the NFL. But I have to agree with Fitz Vegas for what I heard. We addressed corner these past 2 drafts and free agency. So give these guys an opportunity to see what they can do. Because stuff we could. All right, for an example, hypothetically speaking, if Kayvon Thibodeau is dead 7 along with Sauce Gardner, are we really going to go a corner over an edge rusher? Because as a guy who played the game of football, if you could get to the quarterback, every corner gonna look good if he ain't got time to throw.
I mean, in that situation, I'd probably go Thibodeau.
Yeah, I don't think we're taking anybody over Thibodeau.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, Manny?
Hey, what's going on, Kush? Mike and Mike, how we doing?
Guys, make sure you
Good.
check out
Good,
Manny's
man.
Breaking Tackles podcast.
Oh, that's your channel, bro. I'll go subscribe to it.
I
When,
appreciate
the
it. Yeah,
stream is over.
Yeah, it's just me and my boy Antonio's podcast. He started it. I came on, and we both doing the damn thing. Trying to be like my boy Kush here, step by step, baby steps.
You gotta work your way up a little bit. Shout out to Jay for subscribing. But yeah, like Mike just brought up, in the situation, Mike Green, where Kayvon is on the board, yeah, I don't think we're gonna pass up on him, man.
I mean, because you got Azeez Ojulari on the other side. And you can't, if you double team both in this blitzing defense, somebody gonna be free every play.
I mean, that's how the Giants won the Super Bowls back in the day with that NASCAR type of style.
Exactly. So you are going to make your corners look good because they ain't got that much time to get this ball off. And quarterbacks are going to, all it's going to take a couple of games for offensive coordinators to be like, all right, you got 2.5 seconds. If you hold it past that, I can't help you.
2.5 seconds even then is kind of a lot of time in the NFL.
Not really. Because by the time
the average, I think the average is somewhere around actually around 2.5.
But the way this pressure is going to be created, and you got folks that can win one-on-one with pass rush moves, that 2.5 is really not going to be 2.5. So and the corners are pressing. So if the receiver don't beat the corner off the press, he ain't just finna throw it. He got to hold it to somebody get open. So you're still going to have an opportunity to get there.
And actually, that was James Bradberry's strongest shoot was press in Carolina.
The thing is, though, that this is what I was saying. I want to get Manny's thoughts on this in my last video where I like James Bradberry. It was the one I made on Friday. I said all of this. We could talk about how much he's a man press corner or he's a man corner. We could talk about all we want that he fits in Wings defense. The way they're moving with Bradberry right now just suggests to me that he's not that important to the defense to keep. Because if he was, they'd find a way to keep him. If he was, Shane would have went to his last resort move and actually kicked money down the years to keep Bradberry. What do you think, Penny?
Yeah, I think with Shane this is what I think. I think Shane really is probably looking at, as much as Bradberry could help our team this year, and as much as we like him as a personality, as a team member, as a teammate, there's a guy staring us at 5 or 7 who can take that role, and we can start fresh on the contract, fresh on the books, and he fits that exact, cornerback that Wink likes, which is, Sauce Gardner. I mean, I think a part of that is what's making this decision a little bit easier. Obviously with that cap, it's not only going to help you sign, the draft class, but the way Shane is working with this cap, he might add 2 or 3 more veterans, just from what he's already done in this offseason. So I think it has less to do about the player, more to do about the future,
That's a good way of looking at it as well. And Mike, I hope you're being safe because you're driving on the stream at the same time, bro. I hope you taking precautions.
Yeah, I'm being safe.
Okay, man. Just checking. You know what I'm saying? Just making sure, man. I don't want you to get in no accident or anything, bro.
Nah, bro.
I agree with you there, Manny.
I appreciate it.
That's really not something that I kind of thought about. Which is just maybe they just feel like the replacement is there, the contract is there, and it's less about fit.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, also, I mean, I didn't hear any news of Shane going to anyone else's pro day other than Cincinnati's, and that's where Sauce is at. I really don't hope he was looking at like. I mean, granted, they have a few players over there: Bevers, Pierce, Sanders, the quarterback there.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of
Ford,
MyJ, man.
the running back. So like there was players there, but obviously the leader of that.
And I mean, Shane did take him out to dinner too.
Yeah, I was about to say. I feel like that's more telling than anything. They took him out to that dinner at the Cincinnati restaurant.
The only problem is the Jets also really want Sauce.
I don't know if the Jets are gonna go corner that early, man. I don't know. That's just me.
Wait, hold on. Actually, that is a possibility. Look at their division. Miami, you got Waddle, and you got Hill, and you got Wilson. And let's not forget, the second was franchise tag.
That's a good point.
Buffalo, you got Emmanuel Sanders, you got Stephon Diggs, and they added Jamison Crowder.
And they got that tight end Hill as well,
and they got Dawson Knox.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And New England, you don't know who New England gonna add in the draft at receiver, but Nelson Aguilar is not a slouch. Kevin Bourne can have a good game or two as well. Hunter Henry is still a top tight end. So
De'Arnold Smith as well.
Yeah. So
here's
at 4 is not.
No, here's where
not crazy.
Here's where I disagree because I feel like they have bigger needs with the tackle and the edge to go at 4, and then maybe they look at their cornerback at 10 because that's their second pick, right? Because you look at their secondary, their secondary overall is really good secondary. You're talking about Jordan Whitehead, Ashton Davis, you got Joyner. DJ Reed is not anybody to sleep at along with Bryce Hall. Yeah, they could use another cornerback, but I feel like when you compare that to who they got at edge rusher, which is Carl Lawson, who tore his ACL, and John Franklin Myers on the other side, and then you look at tackle
him during the season. They liked him that much.
And then you got George Fant as their right tackle. Like I feel like those are bigger needs compared to when we look at the secondary as a whole is really strong.
But the only thing, Kush, is with that is that I mean they just gave George Fant a contract. They also got Mekhi Becton, who they drafted as well. Do you think that they would just like what would they do at that point with one of those guys if one of those guys doesn't start?
So I'm trying to.
I guess you put Ekwonu at guard, but
so that doesn't. That's a good point you brought up because I didn't know they extended George Fant. But then, what do you say about their second edge rusher being John Franklin Myers? And their first edge rusher is coming off the ACL. I would see them
drafting an edge rusher over a cornerback.
That's what I'm saying. Because if we go off of what you're seeing from Jets beat reporters and then Jets fans as well, one of the reasons I feel so strongly that Tibbs is not going to make it to us is because if he does make it to 4, I think he's going to 4. They love him as much as any other team in the NFL does. And Franklin Myers, I had to pull up because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to sit here and lie and pretend like I know the name. I had to go to Pro Football Reference to see what he's done. He's been in the NFL since 2018. He missed the 2019 season. And in this last season with the Jets, he played all 16 games and he has 6 sacks. So, I mean, not terrible, but definitely an upgrade is needed.
Yeah.
And they do got that dude, Quinnen Williams, that or I don't know if that's the right name, but the guy.
He on the inside, yeah.
So, I mean, they could just load up on that D-line again. That wouldn't hurt. I mean, the Jets are kind of like the Giants where they could use – they have some spots that they can use at tackle, secondary, on the D-line.
I want to ask y'all what you guys thought about as Mike Green popped out, so maybe a connection issue or something. But Shane, he also had a comment that said, we have so many needs, we could honestly go BPA. So first, I guess, general thoughts on that, and then what do you think would personally be BPA at 5? Let me start with Manny, and then I'll get you, Mike.
All right.
I think BPA would be taking Kayvon over Sauce when it comes to, like, what Wink likes. Like, Wink would prefer cover cornerbacks over an edge rush. He says he thinks sacks are a sacrificial number anyways. Or something like that, like something that he said it's a fugazi, like it's not that big a deal. It's a coaching job. It's the coaching staff's job to get that pass rush going. I think that would be the one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a situation where like one of those tackles are on the board and he takes someone else that he doesn't take that, because that's where need meets BPA in my opinion. Like I love Kayvon, but I wouldn't take him over Iquanu or Neo, whoever you'd like. So I think maybe he's referring more to like taking. I can't believe that he would think like a Hamilton or a Cross is ranked higher
Because
than
I was gonna ask you, right?
or
A lot of
Sauce.
people, including myself, think that Cal Hamilton is one of the best, like probably up there as maybe even the best player in the draft. So it comes down to how are we gonna dissect? And obviously, we're probably overanalyzing the quote, but it's what we do as content creators. But how do we dissect what he means as best player available? Does he mean best player available for the Giants, or best player available overall? And yeah, probably gonna be for the Giants.
Go ahead, Mike.
I mean, I would hope that Shane would prioritize tackle over like Kayvon Thibodeau or like Sauce Gardner. Because, I mean, we desperately need tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Desperately. And, I mean, it's... Yeah.
Yeah, I think the big thing though with Shane as well is that he's been a guy who's believed in like the positional value of who you're drafting. I think it's either going to be a tackle, an edge rusher, or Sauce at 5, unless they trade back. So I don't see Shane going after that. And I'm not saying Hamilton isn't like a top 5 player. He might be, but I mean you're still that does help the safety hole, but I feel like the safety hole is more depth than starter. You know, like right tackle, there's no starter there. Edge rusher on the opposite side of Aziz, there's nobody there. I think that takes precedent over just adding depth pieces. Because I think you can go into the offseason, draft a dude like Dane Belton in the 5th round, or JT Woods from Baylor, or go in with camp bodies and let Love and McKinney do their thing. Especially because this is a contract year for Love. They may want to see what he does because he is very versatile.
Yeah, and that goes back to earlier with me saying I don't know if Jabril Peppers leaving necessarily means that we're gonna draft a safety. I feel like they might just roll what we have, which I'm down with. I mean, because one of the other positions that helps out safety is gonna get upgraded. Whether it's gonna be corner or whether it's gonna be edge, it's gonna get upgraded. So that's gonna help out whoever's gonna be there next to McKinney. Mike Green, I see that you pop back in, but it says your devices are not connected, so I can't add you until your devices are connected, my guy. And Max, I'm usually on till 11, bro.
We're talking about we're talking about Bradberry specifically. I wanted to get your guys' opinion on something that I saw on a Twitter sphere in Buffalo, Bills Mafia land.
Mm-hmm.
So I followed and started interacting with the I can't remember his name right now, but all I know is he's the founder of Buffalo Fanatics. Website, podcasting deal, they do the whole thing. They're the authority of Buffalo Bills. So I followed him when our boy Feliciano got signed, and I just kind of picked his brain about Feliciano and stuff like that. Became cool. He's real cool follow, and he had posted a 2-part video asking Buffalo fans, like this is a Buffalo dude asking this: how would y'all feel about a straight up trade Bradberry from the Giants and we give him Tremaine Edmonds? So I want to get your guys' opinion on that.
Really? The first question I gotta ask you.
This is a dude whose job.
I mean, because the first question I gotta ask you is, do they not want Tremaine Edmonds or something?
I feel like they may. I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to. Maybe they just need a secondary more than an edge, than like a linebacker. Especially because they did upgrade the D line with Miller being drafted. When Miller,
because he's not bad, right? Like Tremaine Edmonds is good.
He's not. Yeah. He's not bad, but I don't think he's lived up in their eyes.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that because he was drafted in the first. What was it? 2018 draft, first round, right?
Yeah, with Josh Allen, exactly.
Yeah, so he was drafted in that same draft. So I get if they say like, oh, he's not living up. I think he was like the 16th overall pick or something like that. So I could understand. Go ahead, bro.
No, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say I could understand the viewpoint there, but it's like he's not bad. Sure, he's not great or elite, but he's not bad.
I think the idea around it, and then after this, I'd love to get Mike and AC's opinion. What's
Yeah.
up, AC?
How you doing, Adam?
Hey, how you doing, Manny?
What's up? I want to get. I think the big theory around it is that they reloaded on the defensive line with getting Von Miller. Roche should be back. Roche is going to have a second year now. Boogie Basham is there as well. You got Ed Oliver in the middle. Like, they have a really good D-line. I think the idea is, why don't we upgrade our cornerback spot, because we saw a big hole when Tre'Davious White went down for the season last year. They re-signed Matt Milano, so maybe the idea is that Matt Milano can be that middle linebacker and hold up. They still have the two best safety tandem in football right now. So maybe ringing up the cornerback position with the read up D line is what they're looking at.
Okay.
Because I don't think the idea is that they're going to re-sign Edmonds. I don't think that's a part of the plan.
So Adam, I'm pretty sure you heard that. So why don't you go and then we'll get Mike.
Well, I like Tremaine Edmonds. He had 100 tackles last year. He didn't live up to the 16th billing, but I mean, what do you want out of a linebacker? Guy does everything, right? He runs around, rushes the passer. For the Giants, I'd do that. For Bradberry, why not? You know, you have nothing to lose. You would be upgrading your defense.
And Mike?
Yeah, I would totally do that deal.
Because, like, here's the thing, right? It's like, if it's straight up, you replace Blake. Like, Blake is gone after this year. I'm a big fan of him. I love Blake Martinez. That's no secret. But he's gone after this year, right? Like, we could all agree he's gone after this year. You literally replace him. And, you know, if Edmonds does good, and, you know, if, you know, he likes it here, we probably sign him back on a cheap contract, something that's probably cheaper than his first-round pick contract, to be honest with you. We'll see. And we have a linebacker, and we could go into next year looking for somebody maybe that fits the bill of the other linebacker spot. I mean, it wouldn't be bad, actually. But how realistic is it? That's the real question. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know Bills
You're getting
fans.
a good player.
Yeah, I didn't know.
It's not like you're
They were-
getting a guy
I mean, it's good player for good player, and I feel like maybe the Bills are thinking more about this season and trying to get that chip as opposed to the future, like the Giants are in this state.
So the Bills guy you were talking to, did he kind of explain a little bit more why Tremaine Edmonds specifically, or did he just kind of drop that?
I'm sorry, say that again?
I was like, the Bills guy you were speaking to, right? Did he kind of give any reasoning why he put Tremaine Edmonds in the trade, or did he just kind of drop it and then you were just kind of sitting there with it?
It was, I didn't get to talk to him about it. I just saw a video he posted. And he kind of was explaining it from the standpoint of, you know, that we're probably not going to re-sign Edmonds. That probably could have already happened. Edmonds is coming off an injury. I think they're coming off from the standpoint of, like, you know, they have, like I said, the D-line is going to be way better this year with Miller coming in with those second-year players and Ed Oliver. And then, you know, if you get a Bradberry, then you pretty much are putting him second to Tre'Davious White with those two safeties. I mean, that sounds like the best secondary.
I was about to say that's probably the best secondary in football. You got White, you got Bradberry,
and Buffalo needs a second corner because they lost Levi Wallace to Pittsburgh.
And my guy Levi, man, he signed really, really cheap too. I think he went on once again another type of prove it deal.
Shout out Leviticus.
Well, I mean, for us, you gotta look at who's our second middle linebacker. Tay Crowder is Tremaine Edmonds better than Tay Crowder? Because if you think that he is, then you bring him in, and like Manny said, you'll have your replacement if he does well for Blake Martinez, right? So I mean, it's a win-win for the Giants if you look at it. You get rid of salary, and we do believe that. Besides, I don't believe the Giants are hell-bent 100 on Sauce Gardner. I think they might be more into edge if it falls that way, because I think if you look what Buffalo did in their draft, they draft a lot of edge players and a lot of defensive linemen first. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went that way, and then they may go cornerback in the second or third round, because you think they've put a lot of investment in that position over the years. Julian Love, Rodelius Williams, Aaron Robinson, Darnay Holmes. Now I'm not saying Sauce Gardner is better than them, but you know, for me, I just think this is a move that if you were going to make it, you make it. But I don't believe that Sauce Gardner is going to be the number one pick for them. I think if they can get a edge rusher, I would probably do that right now in the two picks. And and Edmonds, if that trade is true, I'm calling up Joe Shane right now, and I'll make the deal for him.
No, and I would definitely say in a situation where that does happen, I mean, like, it almost solidifies Sauce Gardner at that point, or do you think the Giants would actually take a chance and try and get somebody in the second round in terms of cornerback?
I think that would be the perfect spot to get Sauce. I get what AC is talking about. The Giants have, put a lot of talent at the, in depth at cornerback, but A-Rob is more of like a safety hybrid to inside, slot corner. Darnay Holmes is slot. Rodarius Williams doesn't have that experience, and he's coming off an ACL, so I don't know how much you can expect of a 6th-round pick like that.
Oh no,
he's a good
agree.
player. I think he's good depth. I think this is probably why they do really want to try to move Bradberry. Less about the player and more about the situation of being able to reload and go younger and go with your guy.
Well, I think he's a scheme fit from Wink Martindale and what he does. But I would love to see just a bona fide edge because I think the Giants are missing rushing the passer. What happened last year to Buffalo wasn't that their corners were bad. It was they couldn't get to Patrick Mahomes, hence why they went after Von Miller for $120 million.
Right.
So they know what wins, right? So I get everyone's obsession with Sauce Gardner, and I think he would bring a lot of swag to the defense. But if I can get a guy with some I don't want to reach on Walker, so that leaves me with like maybe Karlakis and Jermaine Johnson at probably 7 because I definitely want to get my tackle at 5 no matter what. If I can do that, I would.
Right.
Doesn't matter. 7 is a flyer pick. I can do whatever I want at that point.
Yeah, 5 is going to dictate that. I agree, AC. Like in a situation where you get a Kayvon Thibodeau, like if the tackles are gone and you draft Kayvon, I think at 7 you can go and get Sauce because then that solidifies your defensive side of the ball with edge and cornerback. If it's a situation where Kayvon's off the board, you get one of those tackles, you could still get Sauce. If all those guys are off the board at 5, Sauce is there. So I think Sauce is a good. Like I think like I think Shane likes Sauce a lot, but like I was telling Kush earlier when they were talking about you can just get BPA. I think that's what he's referring to. Like he's not gonna, like, as much as he may like Sauce because he did take this man out to eat. He did go to his pro day, the only pro day he's been to my knowledge. I think that is something that is. I think they like Sauce a lot. I think Wink likes Sauce a lot, but I think that they're not going to trade. They're not going to go Sauce if those top 4 guys, and we know who the top 4 guys. If they're on the board at 5, I think they go with him.
Right. And I agree with you. I think if you watch the Giants' moves with the offensive lineman with the new Max Garcia, they're setting themselves up that in the later rounds they can be free to move around and do whatever they want. Right. As long as they get that right tackle at 5, the moves that they've made on the offensive line, while they're not sexy or glamorous, allow them to have flexibility in the middle rounds of the draft. At that point, maybe you take a risk at a safe at a corner at number 2, as opposed to taking another lineman or restocking. So I really like the direction that they're headed. Sauce Gardner would be the best corner they had since I don't even know, probably Jason Sehorn physically, right? A 6'2" corner. I mean, who else is there? I mean, no one's been really that good.
Jack Rabbit had that one good 16 year.
Jack Rabbit wasn't a homegrown Giant though. He was a free agent that came in.
That's true.
So I'm not counting him, but
right.
If you look at it,
my boy,
they've never drafted.
Aaron Ross.
They haven't drafted the corner in the first round since Will Allen, so that would be first. I mean, Will Allen was a corner. But
wasn't Aaron Ross drafted?
Oh, you're right.
Wasn't Aaron Ross the first rounder? Yeah, University of Texas. Yeah.
Good for 1 year, for about 2 years, and then he tore up his hamstrings and stuff. But I mean, but he was older. Remember, he didn't last that long because he was like 24, 25 when he came out, so he didn't have that long of a shelf life. So this would be the first guy. So thank you, Manny, for correcting me. It would be the first guy since Aaron Ross that we had a first round grade on and would take. And I think he'd bring a swagger to the defense, man, like a real swag type of I guess confidence that we haven't had on that side of the football in a long time.
So and it's not the same as drafting Baker because the character issues aren't there with this guy like that was there with Baker.
I heard that.
The speed, so I think all those comes into play. I mean, I don't know how watching his tape. It's almost boring because he doesn't get the ball thrown at him.
That's
like
great.
That Alabama game, which is awesome. It's like you want offensive linemen that D linemen hate, where you want cornerbacks that don't get the ball thrown on them. So, I think we're in a good spot for real. Like I'm real excited to see how these guys cook up 5 and 7 overall.
I was gonna say, I saw that Mike popped out. There may be a couple. I'm not sure if it's on my end, technical issues or internet issue, because Mike Green, I see him pop back in, and it still says, Mike, by the way, that like your devices are not connected. Then Mike Nixon, I see you're back in and it says the same thing. Maybe guys try leaving and coming back in so I could get you guys back. I'm not sure what's going on with StreamYard right now, but go ahead. Was it Adam or Manny talking?
I was gonna say the Baker comparisons are outlandish because Baker had off the field issues and on the field meeting issues. Like his work ethic was terrible. This guy, Sauce Gardner, has a clean record. He came to the interviews in a suit, like he's representing himself well, right? So when people say, "Oh, it's DeAndre Baker," no, DeAndre Baker had problems that we didn't care about. And we still drafted him anyways. This guy is probably a cleaner prospect.
And the only thing that's similar between them, Giants fans, or some Giants fans, not all of them, kind of going crazy saying, "Oh, they had similar comments about the game." I'm like, so they're both confident cornerbacks. That's it. They're just confident that they could do well at the NFL level, and they're confident that they're the best corner in the class.
And you want that. I mean, Deion Sanders ran his 40 time and basically shrugged off everybody, saying, like someone said, you ran too fast, you ran too far, or something like that. And he was like, you're not going to be drafting me anyway, so I don't care. You know what I mean? Like that swag, I don't mind that of a cornerback. That's what I want. What do you want to sit there and be like, oh, I'm scared of going up against Justin Jeffries. I'm concerned about going up against, Jamar Chase. No, I want him to say, yeah, I'm going to kick those guys' ass up and down the field.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then I think like I the one thing also too, like a lot of people were saying like, well, what about the conference he played in? That's not like breeding a lot of offensive talent. I mean, UCF did have Gabriel Davis going like the 4th round a few years back, who went off on that in that playoff game against the Chiefs. Memphis always produces really good high level, not necessarily wide receivers, but just in general, like their offensive side of the ball as well. Plus, you got when he went against Notre Dame, did his job. When he went against Alabama this year, even though they lost that game, he did his job. Like that wasn't like he did what he needed to do as the number 1 CB. So.
And then of course that argument has always been stupid. Not just for Sauce, but people bring it up all the time with any player that's not from like Alabama or something. I'm just like, if we use this argument for every player, then like 99% of the NFL shouldn't be in the NFL at that point.
It's just people are so stuck on it. If it's not offensive line, then this is Gettleman 2.0. It's like, guys, like this is a deep class, and we have guys, not just Shane, but Brandon Brown, who has a track record of being a part of a team that's finding late round talent on the offensive line. I'm not saying you want to get a
I trust Brandon Brown.
Rounder.
Listen, I'm not saying I agree with you. I'm not saying we should go into 6th or undrafted to get our guys, but like I trust Brandon Brown, man. That man was responsible for Jordan Mailata, all right? That's crazy.
Yeah. And plus, I mean, there's like I don't think you got to go that late. There's Max Mitchell might be a guy in that later round that is decent pickup, but you're gonna have if you don't go offensive lineman 1st round, you got Daniel Faalele, and the 2nd, you got Abraham Lucas, who are guys who have played the right side their whole time. So if you don't need to go. I don't think you need to go in unless they think this guy is better than what we all think. You don't need to go and reach for a cross to get an offensive lineman. Where you can just go BPA, and then go and get your lineman in the top of the 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
See, you bring up a good point, Manny, because I'm in the same kind of, I guess, headspace as you in terms of where we don't need to reach for anybody. We're in the catbird seat in our own draft because we got. Like I said before, the linemen aren't great that they got Feliciano, but they did pay one, right? They paid Mark Galwinski or whatever. They did pay two guys to be a starter, right? So my point is
because I'm higher. Real quick, I just want to just get this in, AC. Maybe it's because I'm higher on Feliciano because we're both from Long Island. But I think Glowinski and Feliciano are day 1 starters. Maybe if someone comes in better, cool. But I think those guys are coming. I think three starting linemen is on the team right now, and you just got to get a guard and a tackle to bring in more competition.
Well, I think possibly 4 with Max Garcia. He's pretty good. I mean, go check out Talking Giants. Bobby Skinner does a breakdown of him, and he was a Pro Bowl alternate last year. So, I mean, he's not great, but competing with Shane Lemieux, I mean, and maybe a rookie, you got something. I think the Giants have set themselves up pretty well here where they can do whatever they want. They can go 2 defensive players if they want. They can go 2 offensive linemen if they want. Like, that's the beauty of what they've done in this draft and how they're set up themselves in the free agency system. The reason I think they're going to go heavy defense in the draft later on is because they haven't signed that many defensive players in free agency. They got
by the
two
way,
guys.
I just want to correct you. They haven't signed many. I believe they've signed 0 defensive players.
They got the nose tackle Justin Ellis, and they got Jihad Ward.
Jihad Ward.
I completely forgot that those dudes existed. Not gonna hold you. Not
Right,
gonna hold
but
you.
Is that really all they signed defensive wise?
Yeah, because
Yes.
I remember at one
Wow.
point, the reason I stated 0, because I remember at one point last week, I was reading up on some articles and it was like, take note, the Giants have signed 0 defensive players so far. That's probably suggestive of what they're going to do in the draft.
Exactly. So,
That's- okay,
you know,
that's
like
a good point.
they signed like 2 receivers so far, 2 like return men. They signed like 5, 6 linemen, right? And they signed 2. They've signed 1 tight end who some people think is great. I'm like, this guy couldn't hold, my jock, let alone
Best tight end in the
His best
draft
play
season,
was
man.
against the Giants in week 2.
Whoever you
That's
think
it.
is the best tight end in the draft, we can get. So let's go get him.
Exactly. So
Yep,
this is what I'm
yep.
saying. The Giants have done a very good job with their plan. Now, I think defensively, like a Chad Muma, if he's there in the 2nd or 3rd round and you want to go get him, go get him. You know what I mean? This is where you can do those things. I happen to think they might trade out of 36 if there's a quarterback needy team that likes Desmond Ridder or Sam Howell. That would be an ideal spot to try to get a couple more picks in the 2nd round and 3rd round, because this draft is very thick in that 2nd and 3rd round area. The top 100, you can get a lot of good players to be on your team for a while. So if I'm the Giants and I can't trade out of those 2 picks, well, 36 might be the spot where they did it last year with Ojolari. This may be the year you may do that again, where you might want to get a couple more picks. Then you can pick up your lineman, maybe your running back, maybe an extra linebacker, maybe another safety. You know what I'm saying? To me, this is where the Giants should, if they really want to trade, 36 would be where I would do my trade.
Before anybody responds, let me read a couple things from the chat. I've kind of been ignoring them low key. Will says, I would love to be on the show because I know and love football. I'm a fanatic of the Giants, been a fan since 86, a true blue Giant. I bleed blue. Feel free to click that link. It is pinned, Will. If you want to call in, any and everybody is welcome. Shout out to Miz in the chat, guys. Definitely check out his channel as well. Over there, he gave a shout out to Adam out there in the chat. He says, Sauce at 7 seems real. Cannot pass up on a tackle at 5. I just can't not. Her says, Shane will move on from DJ and Barkley. Just give it time. Well, with the added just give it time, I guess I would probably agree with you, because I don't know if any of them are going to be here past this season. That's a toss-up in the year for me right now. And then just quickly scrolling down. Will says, I trade up to get more picks on our 7th pick and more draft capital to trade. I'd trade up with the Falcons. I guess he means trade down, right? Trade down with the Falcons and get Asamoah from Oklahoma in round 1, bro. I don't know about in round 1 with Brian Asamoah. I might have to disagree with that one.
I would be like Cleaning Farrell 2.0.
Yeah, that's kind of high. Asamoah was like a 2nd, 3rd round pick. But what I wanted to ask Adam, because you mentioned it briefly, let me get your thoughts on Max Garcia, because you say you believe there's a potential 4th starter here, but when I look at him, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I still feel like we could probably draft somebody that takes his spot. And Mike, I'm gonna pop you out because Mike Green now finally got his stuff fixed.
Right.
But thank you for calling in as usual, bro.
No problem.
Have a good one.
It was good talking football with you, Manny, and Adam.
God
Good
bless,
talking
bro.
with you,
Appreciate
man.
Yep.
Peace.
Peace.
But yeah, go ahead, Adam.
To answer that question about Max Garcia, I
Hey,
think
can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
yes.
All right.
I think that Max Garcia signing is what they've done is got great experience. Now I think he's going to fight with Shane Lemieux to be the left guard. Now if they can draft somebody in the 2nd, if they draft a Zion Johnson, let's actually get names in here so people can get a picture painted. If Zion Johnson comes in here, Max Garcia is not starting. What Max Garcia allows you to do, though, is that if you don't see a Zion Johnson and you see a Boy Mafe, right, and you think maybe we can increase our edge presence, that guy allows you that flexibility to maybe take the chance on Mafe and pass on a Zion Johnson, because you have a guy who has some experience starting and you can get by. Remember, they're only a 1st-round pick, right? You want to develop guys behind these guys. They're only 1-year deals between him, Jamil Douglas, and Feliciano, which tells me they believe in these guys. They don't believe in them long enough, but we don't have anybody else starting. And if a rookie comes in here and blows the doors off, yeah, I agree with you, Hub, that he'll start. But for me, right now, I'm penciling in Max Garcia as a starter over Shane Lemieux until someone comes in and takes that job.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely put him above Shane Lemieux. Everybody we've signed so far, which is crazy because we've had no money, but everybody we've signed has been an upgrade on the offensive line.
And that's sad.
Yeah. More than anything, it is kind of sad.
And can I just say, I think the cap space is a fugazi. I never believed it from being the standpoint of you can't work around it. Like, you can work around it. It's just a matter of choices. Do you want to kick the can down the road, or do you just want to swallow your pill now, or whatever the hell that saying is, and just, go do what you can. I think this has been they made it seem like we couldn't sign anybody. They made it seem like we just had to clear cap for the draft class. And I think they did a great job with just adding depth and, like Adam said, not having to draft an interior lineman, not having to draft a starting center. Like, you have 2 starting caliber centers on this team right now. 3 if Gates, God bless him. Gates comes back. You have 3 starting centers right there. So yeah.
I mean, I agree with you. That goes back to me saying I just don't think that they. We already discussed the Bradberry thing. You saying, like, maybe it's just more easy replacement, fresh start. I'm just getting the feeling that they just don't want him here, with like no malicious intent behind the phrase they don't want him here. They just like, because if they did, they would make space. That's my belief. If they really did, they would make space. If Wink Martindale really feels like he's the guy for his defense, they'd find a way to make space.
You're right.
You're talking about Bradberry?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the same thing with the Logan Ryan situation, right? The only difference was they didn't really have too many trade partners with Logan Ryan, so they're just like, let's let you go to another spot where you can fit, right? Because you obviously don't fit in this defense. And let's be honest, he did regress a little bit last year. He wasn't the same Logan Ryan for 2020. So that was a mutual parting of ways, and I don't blame them for doing that. And Bradberry, they know they can probably get something for him. It's a matter of what they're going to get for him. I would trade him. If you're not, the question becomes, Manny, Hub, and Mike, if it comes down to it, are you going to be stubborn enough to keep him on the team and restructure the deal, or are you going to let him go for a 5th round pick if that's what someone tells you? That really is what it comes down to. Because if they cut him and he goes away and he gets nothing, you look like an idiot.
Mike, you got any thoughts to share there, bro?
I really do not want to let go of my best corner for a 5th round pick. But if that's the best that I could get, I would rather get something than to leave with nothing. Because this ain't just no random GDI. This is a Pro Bowl corner.
Yeah, absolutely.
That can help not only our team, help anywhere James Bradberry go, that's automatically a better secondary. Anywhere he go. Adore Jackson himself was like, losing Bradberry would be a tremendous loss. That should tell you how they feel about him. So, if we got to let him go, I would rather restructure or extend him something, because I really don't want to lose a top corner in their prime. But if this is what we need to do in order to have the team structured the way it needs to be structured, a 4th or 3rd would be nice rather than a 5th. But if that's all we could get, then it's still something better than nothing.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead, Adam.
If you have a chance to get Sauce Gardner guaranteed and a 5th round pick for James Bradberry, that would be basically your haul. Would you do that?
I'll take that.
I'll take it, because you still need to fill that void. So, yeah, I'll take it. But let me ask you this, though. What if Kyle Hamilton there?
Would I take Kyle Hamilton there?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
I think it's just because, like, I don't think the center position is I think everyone kind of lost their lids when, Logan Ryan was let go. I don't think Logan Ryan, okay, he changes a little bit. Maybe I'm just short selling him. I love Logan, I love him. I think I was defending him a lot on Twitter last year, but I don't think he really tips the scale in our favor as much as people want to say. It doesn't help us for sure, and I think people are just more of just like, this is just another hole for the Giants to fill. But you can just fill that hole with depth as opposed to trying to get a starting
completely
safety.
agree, man. That's why I'm not opposed to just running with Love for a season.
I mean, yeah, Julian Love's played the free safety position. He does a lot. Again, Julian Love allows you to be flexible in this pick, meaning, if you like him enough to play free safety, I don't need to reach for Hamilton, because the problem with Hamilton is no one knows where they're going to use him. And right now, the Giants, I'd rather have a corner that I know is going to come in from day one, be my number one, than worry about a guy. Should we play him at linebacker? Should we play him at the money back?
I'm also I'm definitely a believer in positional value. Like, listen, man, the safety does not affect the rest of the team as much as a starting number one corner does.
But if Cal Hamilton is like Ed Reed, you won't want that.
That's a very big if. I'm sure we could all agree that's a big if.
Like if that's like someone was like, would you take a defensive tackle if they're Aaron Donald? Well, okay, well then I answered that to ask that same question, like Ed Reed as Hamilton, would you take that? I think that's a lot. That's
nobody's saying. I don't believe anybody on the panel has said that Sauce is gonna be the next who's the greatest cornerback you want to use? I'd say Revis or something, right? Revis. Yeah, like nobody said he's gonna be Revis Island. We've simply said he's the best cornerback in this draft, and not only the best corner, but one of the best players as well.
I see the Kyle Hamilton stuff, and if he's Troy Polamalu, and I know he's going to be Troy Polamalu, then I'll take him, because that's what I think he's going to amount to. It's going to be in that box type of safety, rangy, sideline to sideline kind of guy. But to me, like Hub said, the premium position in the NFL is cornerback, right? They don't pay safeties like they pay corners. I mean, look at Ramsey, he got paid, right? The Brinks truck got backed up for that guy.
And trust me, because this the wide receiver market just exploded because of Christian Kirk, the corner market is soon gonna follow.
Exactly.
Right.
So I mean, go ahead, Manny. Sorry.
No. You got it, boss. You got it.
No, I was just saying, like, to me, I like Kyle Hamilton. He's a good prospect, and this is no slight on him. Just for the Giants' needs, I think I would rather go with Sauce over him.
Yeah, no, I agree as well. And I think, like, it just for me, I mean, I just can't, especially if we trade Bradberry. If we don't trade Bradberry, okay, that's different, But if we do end up trading Bradberry and we don't feel the need with the best cornerback in the draft, when he's there and you don't have to trade up or trade down, he's there and you just got to pick him, I think that would be – I don't think that would be great. And I know Adoree Jackson was really good in his role last year because he was in the second cornerback position, more or less, going after like the 2 and 3 guy. On occasions, the number one wideout, but majority of times on the 2 and 3. I think I have confidence enough to be able to say, "Yo, Sauce, you're CB1, do your thing from day one. That just." If you have that much faith in him, if you draft a player 7th or 5th overall, they have to be day one starters, and you can't fear that they can't handle it. In my opinion.
Oh man, that opens up so many other discussions that I'll leave alone. But
nah, you could definitely address one of them, bro. Pick one of them.
Giants for life. Giants for life. I'm sorry, y'all. I had a Cowboy fan to come by. I had to. You know what? Hold on. Let me cut this light on real quick. Hey, can y'all see? Can y'all see this?
Oh, this man got a chain and everything. Okay,
that's real love, man.
Oh, yeah. Giants for life. I had to let them know.
Oh, I'm down in Philly country, man. I get it every day. They look at me, so I know.
Can you get to an NFC? Can you get to an NFC championship game before you talk spicy, please? Please?
The Cowboys fan going with you right now. That's kind of hilarious.
Man, I live in Texas. It's like every day in this crap.
Oh, nah, bro. You're in Texas?
Like they nice.
Yeah. Hey, man, ain't that taxes? That's legit. And for an apartment in New York City, you can probably buy like acreage of land in Texas over here.
Oh no, I've said it countless times. If I ever move, I'm going to Arizona, bro. You could get the whole house, the land, everything.
Yeah, you You can link up with Big Will.
Will?
Which, by the way, the fact that the only thing on Twitter you
Will
see is
Hernandez,
outside
he
of
said.
highlights, but just Will Hernandez.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was saying have y'all seen that tweet that's been just floating around that one dude that said like the Giants are terrible and Will Hernandez is gonna thrive in the Arizona Cardinals? Like, what's your
I saw that
opinions on
tweet.
that?
Yeah,
How
I
do you
saw
think
that
Will's
tweet.
gonna do?
I was just like, and you know what? This is another reason why I had to get y'all thoughts on Max Garcia, because when I looked at reactions of Cardinals fans when he was gone, there was a couple of them were just like, wish him the best. But for the most part, it's not like they felt that they got worse. The offensive line got worse when they were gone. So I was a little bit worried. But then I saw Cardinals fans being hyped about Will Hernandez going there. I'm like, you know what? Maybe they don't know how to judge offensive linemen, because they're really, really hyped that Will Hernandez is there.
Before I go pick up this order, I just want to say, gentlemen, is the reason why marijuana is not legal in all 50 states. Everybody can't handle it. Everybody can't handle it. Some people brain cells is already gone. It's too
It's
late.
all fried.
It's a wrap. It's over with.
But nah, there's been there's been ridiculous amounts of Will Hernandez love from Arizona. I'm like, what did he do? Did he make a donation or something?
Well, Max Garcia can at least pick up a stunt. Will Hernandez, the first time he picks up a stunt will be the first time he picks up a stunt. Okay. Will Hernandez is a downhill blocker. That's it. You say hit the man in front of you, he'll do it. If you ask him to go get the man that's on the other side or pulling, he ain't gonna do that for you. Max Garcia, like I said, watch Talking Giants. Bobby Skinner breaks it down pretty well for you. You can see his flaws. And
I'll be right back, fellas.
Yeah, Mike.
I got a chance to saw his back. I got a chance to saw the tape, and it was the tape that Bobby broke down.
It's not crazy,
was legit.
But
I was no, I mean he's definitely not a guy he ain't. I don't think he's better than Feliciano or Glow, but I think he's probably like third. On occasions, he might be the second best one on between those three during the games or whatever. But yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they would have upgraded with signing the four of us right now.
I mean, I think I agree with what the Earl just put in chat. He said they spent pennies on the dollars for competent players. They can definitely hold the fort while we rebuild. Like, I completely agree there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, adding stability to the O-line. So if you do bring in a rookie and they got to start, they're not starting next to crap. They're starting next to stabilized veterans that know the job and know how to do it, and are going to be there for the whole game. And
which, by the way,
waver away.
Do you notice that this O-line, not in terms of talent, but age as well, is the complete opposite of last year, where we had all the young guys. Now we have a whole bunch of veterans.
Right.
And and I don't think Glow. And I think Glow Winsky, I don't think he's that old. I think he's like, 26, 27? I feel like he's not.
He's 29.
No, he's 29, bro. He's 29.
29. Okay, 29. I know Feliciano's like, 30, right?
Yeah, I mean,
they're all around that 30 number, basically.
And then O-line, I don't really, especially in O-line. I'm about to be 30. I don't think 30 is old at all. I think, especially for O-line and guard, I think they could, 35, 36 is when you're probably a little, you're close, depending on who you are.
It it depends on their bodies and stuff as well. Yeah.
What I like about this,
but I think
is sorry, Manny. I'm sorry.
No, you got it, man. You got it. You good.
What I like about these linemen are they're versatile. They can both play guard and center, right? So that's what Max Garcia can do. That's what Jamil Douglas can do. That's what Feliciano can do, right? And that allows
can go on each side.
Right. That means you can put guys where you need to put them, give them in the best position. Or if one goes down, we're not going to be trying to trade Billy Price for Billy Price's of the world, right? This is what allows us to do that. The Giants had 5 linemen going into the offseason. They now have 11 linemen, and they probably will end up getting like 15 to maybe 18 when it's all said and done, right? I definitely believe 2 are coming into the draft, and UDFAs will be all over the place, right? So it's not done, but what these guys can do is like a mentorship, right? You come in, they can show them how the pros work, how things go, how you watch film, how you prepare for a game, right. You know what I mean? And then the young guys, let's say you get an Alex Lindstrom in the 2nd or 3rd round, right? A guy you don't think is going to start right away, but you can build up his strength and his other mental aptitude for the game while he waits for Feliciano, right? And then if Feliciano goes down, now you have a kid who's been prepared a few weeks to go in after him, or you can move Jamil Douglas in those roles. That's what I like about what Joe Schoen is doing. Scheme versatility.
Man, I just
adding
love the
depth.
fact that the depth is just crazy good now.
Yeah. No, that, and I mean, what it also does too is I'm hoping it finally gives Andrew Thomas that partner in crime on the left side, that left guard for him, whether it's a guy we draft like a Zion or a Kenyon Green for that
Because
matter too.
it's crazy
one
that
of those guys.
his best performance came next to Shane Lemieux, for crying out loud. So I can't wait to see what he does with somebody legit.
And like he balled next to Matt Skura and Ben Bredesen. I mean,
I'm glad
he
he's
definitely
busted.
hasn't had the And I think, but going back to like Will Hernandez, Arizona, I think they probably judge offensive linemen different because they have a dude who can literally evade anything once the offensive lineman breaks down in Kyler Murray. Like,
That's a good
when
point.
he's healthy and not.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that's probably why. I think that's what they're probably looking at as well. And then maybe like I like Will Hernandez. I wish it would have worked out. I think Will Hernandez is going to be able to benefit playing next to a dude like Rodney Hudson. Like he gets that same benefit as well, like playing next to a good veteran as well. Because I mean, he played next to Nate Solder his whole career pretty much. Yikes.
Yeah. I mean, ex Giant linemen like to go to Arizona. What can you say, right? So, and plus his O-line coach from college, I think, is there. So
yeah, we had Justin Pugh is still there, isn't he? Or is he going?
Yeah, Justin Pugh's there. I think he's still there, but his O-line coach is there from college, and I think that's what brought him there, familiarity. And I'm sure knowing somebody there that said, "Hey, man, you're going to fit this scheme," makes it nice. And let's be honest, the Giants were a mess, and it stinks that it didn't work out, like you said, because he was highly touted, right? A lot of people were banging the desks to get Will Hernandez. Like, oh, if he drops us the second round, oh my God, we love. I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
wasn't around.
Listen, the 2018 draft is such a conundrum when you look back at it, because it's like Will Hernandez was a good
great
pick.
Word.
I don't even know if I used it correctly, but I'm gonna keep it real. But like, he was a good pick at the time, right? Like, he was supposed to go in like the mid to late first round, drop to the second. Oh my God, we got him there. Even Lorenzo Carter was a really good pick at the time, because Lorenzo was supposed to go like in the second. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy to look back at it, because it's like none of those guys are here now.
Right, they have one guy, Barkley.
We should still have BJ Hill. That's ridiculous.
Well,
yeah, we should.
That was a desperation move.
I hate Gettleman.
Mike, are you there? Okay, cool. All right, then. AC, you were going to say something?
I was just going to say, like, the Barkley 2018 draft still here. I mean, it goes to show you how bad those drafts ended up being, right? I mean, I think how many guys are from 2019? I mean, I don't know why O'Shane Zimenez is still here. I've been thinking about that for days. I'm like, we could cut all these players. This guy was a healthy scratch last year, and he's still on the team. Like, what is going on?
You need camp bodies, You need bodies in camp. You need guys that are going to be able to show Abe Lucas, Ikea Kwanu, or whomever how to block, Going back to Barkley, yeah.
I'd rather use a tackling dummy then. I mean, my God.
Let me ask y'all, what do y'all think about Saquon? It looks like he's staying. What do y'all think? Y'all like it? Don't like it? How we feel?
I mean, I'm fine with it, man. I'm a huge Saquon fan. I honestly thought that what he's making $7.5 million, that there was other people we should probably look at moving first before we move him. The two obvious ones we've been to, that Bradberry and Martinez. So if Martinez can stay, keep Saquon, man. He's going to be in the best situation. He's already in the best situation he is with the Giants. We just talked about the massive improvement on the O-line.
I am indifferent, right? If he stays, great. It's a valuable weapon to evaluate our quarterback, who like Kush said, he's a conundrum in itself, right? He's a conundrumous player, if that even makes sense. But you have Barkley, great. My thing is this: if you could trade for assets, I'd do it, and here's why. If we believe this is a rebuild, then strip it down bare bones and just go with a rebuild. Don't keep players to keep them around to be like, oh, we're going to try to compete. No, I know people hate this analogy. Do what the Jets did. They built it down. They competed. They didn't care about wins. They're trying to develop their young players. And if that's what we're trying to do, Barkley doesn't serve that purpose. Go give him a chance to go win something, right? Hey, man, don't waste your prime years here trying to help us rebuild. Go to a team that that can win. If I'm Buffalo, if I'm Joe Shane, I'm calling Buffalo. Like, what do you want for 89? I'll give you Saquon Barkley for the 89th pick in the draft. Boom, straight swap. Right.
Now this is what I'll say. And I said something similar when I really don't want to get into Daniel Jones because it seems like every stream somehow gets to him. But I did say something similar on the last call-in when I was talking about Daniel Jones and potentially getting Malik Willis and whatnot. It's like I could see them go either way because I mentioned earlier, Matt Breida is a running back by committee type of running back, if that makes sense. He will thrive in that system. The guy that the Giants love, James Cook, would be great to have a 1-2 punch of James Cook and Matt Breida. Like, I see that being more sensible, if that makes any sense, than Matt Breida and Saquon. Like, Saquon gets a lot of touches, both in the passing game and the running game. Breida would have some, but probably not as much as if, we actually would have James Cook here and Saquon is gone. So I could see them going either way, man.
Yeah. I'm going to go a different approach with Barkley. I was on the mindset, trade him. If you're going to think about trading Bradberry, you need to consider Barkley as well. I understand why they want to keep him if they do end up keeping him, because you can't take weapons away from Daniel Jones and see how he's going to perform. If you're trying to upgrade the O-line, you can't take weapons away from him either. I tend to believe there's a shot. Please don't kick me off the stream, Kush. But I think there's a shot where Barkley, if he performs, I'm not saying you break the bank, but I'm saying you go into contract negotiations with him and see if he does want to re-sign with the Giants. I don't feel like this is.
Sorry, Manny, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave, bro. Let me stop. No, the thing is, I don't know why you preface it with that, because I want that to happen. Like, that's what I want to happen. I want him to go out there and ball out, and we extend him.
Right. Yeah, I don't think this is much of a rebuild like other teams, because if it was a rebuild, you just cut Shepard, you just cut Barkley. You don't try to.
If it was a rebuild, Martinez is not here, bro.
That's what exactly. My point. You just cut those guys. You cut Shepard, you cut Martinez. You don't try to restructure them. I think or pay cut them, because there's a difference with pay cut. Pay cut, less money, restructure, kick the can down. It's a lot better. I think there is a shot that the Giants can be better than what they were this year, because they're going to have better coaching. That is already on paper better. I know you don't play football on paper, but it's still better coaching staff than they had in the last 3 years. You're going to have a better O-line. 4 years. Since Coughlin left, this is the best coaching staff the Giants have had on paper.
I mean, on paper, I would even say it's better than like 10 years ago, I would say. But that's it, right? We only talk on paper so far.
I mean, we had. I think listen, the NFC is not loaded this year. Yes, Rodgers and Brady, but after that, Stafford, I'm not really worried much of Stafford. He just won a Super Bowl, but I don't think Stafford is that guy that you have, that he's not a Brady, he's not a Rodgers, he's not a force multiplier type of guy. He's a good quarterback, and he has weapons around him and a team around him. He can ball, but I don't think he's that guy. I don't think anyone in our division is really that guy either. I'm not saying the Giants need to go in here thinking that they can win the Super Bowl, but I think the Giants are trying, they're just trying to compete. They're trying to compete this year and trying to put a better, better product on the field. I think there's a possibility here. In Shane's first season as assistant GM, they had a worse cap space than us than in the Bills. They had a worse situation roster wise. Like they let go of a lot of guys. They weren't looked at as very good, and then they back into the playoffs. And as far as, I think the Giants can do that this year. And when the whole discussion goes, well, what happens if DJ isn't the guy, you back into the playoffs and now you're further away from the first round pick? You go and trade down and get that first pick overall, second, third, whatever. Not every team in the top 10 next year is going to need a quarterback. And I think this class this year is going to be really good quarterback wise. And then there might be a chance, again, don't kick me off, might be a chance that Daniel Jones makes you have to either give him that franchise tag or give him the extension. I think if he balls this year, you give him the franchise tag over the extension.
Now that is an offense I might have to kick you off for.
More.
That is an offense I might have to get rid of you for. But shout out to Vibes in here. What up, Vibes? How you doing? Thank you for tuning in, guys. Check out him and the New York Revival podcast, along with Duran in here. What's up, man? How you doing? With the Daniel Jones thing, I don't know, man. I feel so weird because people have been calling me a Daniel Jones hater after I've been one of his biggest defenders in his first 3 years. I'm not a hater. Definitely not. I've just being somebody that spent literally all 3 years of Daniel Jones' career doing nothing but defend him and point out reasons why he hasn't succeeded, it's frustrating, which is why I'm just like, I just want to move on. I'm not going to lie to you. That's where I am right now. I will give him his chance,
Right.
his fair shot to do something this year. But in my heart of hearts, I believe he's not going to really do much.
And I tend to I really do. Like, I'm speaking more heart than head. I think there's more of a likelihood the Giants are looking for a new QB next year than not. But I'm not going to sit here and just think that, there's a rebuild. The Giants are going to win 4 or 5 games. Daniel Jones ain't it. Like, I think there is something there. And I'm not saying you need to even re-sign him if he does take you to the playoffs or if he does play better. I think you evaluate him and see what you got, and you actually evaluate him. I think this year is it, though. Like, this has to be it. It doesn't matter, injuries or not. He's going to be healthy in the starter camp. They already mentioned he's going to be healthy. This is it. It's either he balls out or he gets out, one or the other.
Now, that's an interesting. Go ahead, Adam. But I just saw a very interesting question in chat.
I mean, I'm tired of Daniel Jones. I'm like Hub here. I defended him when he was coming out, so he had all the talent, all the tools you need. But there's something mentally that's not going right with him, right? Because there's certain short circuits that happen in a game that I'm like, yo, you're going to cost us the football game. And one that comes to mind is the Kansas City game where they're doing a screen pass, and instead of throwing it in the dirt, he throws it across his body to a defender standing right, a lineman who's on his knee catching a football. I'm like, that's the type of stuff I can't have. And he's still doing the same things that he did in his rookie year. That's kind of what scares me. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm like, even if he balls out, honestly, I'll be honest with you, I'll let him walk anyways, because I'd rather try to get a quarterback and keep that 5-year option window so I can keep building with pieces than try to hire a guy who I don't even know is going to get injured again. You know what I'm saying? So,
and
I can't make that.
This is how you know
That's
Daniel Jones is always a controversial topic. Forget if you on Twitter you want to start controversy, just 2 words, bro. Daniel Jones, because Vibe says he's lost followers since he said DJ ain't it, man. This is the question I want to ask y'all, because Durant posted it in chat. I'm like, that's a good one. He says, if DJ balls, would you trade him pre-deadline?
Yes.
Okay. What about you, Manny?
No.
All right. No. That's a good debate right there. AC, why you say yes?
Because A, you have Tyrod Taylor. B, he's $8 million, so someone can extend him. It's not on your dime, right? So if he's balling out, why am I gonna do that? Just get rid of him now. Get a value, because guess what? You don't have a pick anyways to move up. So if someone's gonna give you another second round pick, he's balling out, and you get a second round pick for him, or you get a couple seconds. Well, hey, now I can use that ammunition to move up in the draft to get the guy I really want anyways.
And then Manny, your reasoning?
I think if Daniel Jones is balling out and the Giants are in the position to be a playoff contender and in the playoffs by that point, I don't think that helps the locker room at all with getting rid of DJ. I think that puts a bad taste in these dudes' mouth, being like, man, this new regime came in, Daniel Jones did what they asked him, he balled out, and now they're going to trade him. What about our livelihood? Like, we don't have we're playing for our next contract, and that doesn't help us at all with getting rid of our starting quarterback who's actually performed, to that point. I don't think that helps that at all, that locker room at all.
Well, I will say this. The regimes always want their guy. I don't like a guy being forced upon a regime as this one is, right? So this has happened for every new coach for the Giants since Coughlin left. Oh, do you want Eli Manning? No. Okay, we're going to hire the guy that does. Oh, you want this guy? We're going to hire the guy that, let them evaluate him. And if they say Daniel Jones can be the guy, they can be the guy. The thing that stands out to me that keep resonating in my brain is Brian Daboll said that he wants a guy that's mobile to run his offense. Daniel Jones is not a mobile quarterback. He can run when he
can run in a straight line.
Right, but he cannot move around like a Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor fits Daboll's system better. So would a Malik Willis or a C.J. Stroud or somebody people don't like it, but Sam Howell would do a better job than Daniel Jones in that regard. So my thing is this: if they like a guy next year, they were talking C.J. Stroud at an Ohio State day, even though he wasn't necessarily his pro day, he was throwing for the Garrett Wilson and all that. Who knows if they don't want that guy next year? And he might be better coming out than Daniel Jones, and you think he's going to hoist the Lombardi. I'm not going to waste a guy who's just going to get me to the playoffs. I'm going to get a guy who's going to get me that Lombardi trophy.
Yeah, I think the Giants are Like, it's a good spot to be in. As much as I like Daniel Jones, I like the Giants more. Like, I take precedent over the Giants more. I'm a fan of them. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Daniel Jones, Tyrod Taylor, Bomani Jones. I don't care who's starting for this team as long as it's the best player available.
Manny, you're the starting quarterback. Manny, you're going to be the starter.
Hey, if that helps us win games, suit me up.
We're hitching our way.
The Giants are I just think the Giants, like, I think that there's I just feel, I don't know. I don't think Daniel Jones, like, if I had to bet it, I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be a guy. But if I wouldn't be surprised if he was. But I also wouldn't be surprised if the Giants say, hey, with the 5th overall pick, we're going to take Malik Willis. You know, I had a show. I was doing my show last week with me, Tony, and Mace. And Mace had this. Draft Malik, trade Daniel, start Tyrod. I would be 100% behind that, especially with how Malik Willis, and I'm going to break down his tape later tonight, but so far, I mean, you have, like, I don't think Sam Howell's that guy, because I don't think there's any traits that show that he could be elite, whereas, like, Malik Willis has the speed, but he has that arm that you can't teach. You can't teach that whip. So, I mean, I think, like, if there's any quarterback the Giants are going to draft in this class, it would be Malik, in my opinion. I think next year is going to be a way more deeper class, but I don't think the Giants are in a bad spot. You know, it's either going to be, Daniel Jones shows out, and does his thing, or they draft Malik Willis and start from there, or Daniel Jones stinks, gets them a top 10 pick, and now they can go ahead and get their quarterback. I think they're in a good spot regardless. And, again, I'm a fan of the Giants. I don't care who starts at quarterback.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, Hub, I just want to say thanks for having me. I just wanted to pop in and show some love. Always good to talk football with you, man. So, Manny, great job. I'm going to sub up to you because you know your stuff, and I enjoy listening to you.
I appreciate that. Yeah,
hey,
man. Likewise.
Adam, if you're going to pop out now.
Streams. Yeah,
if you're going to pop out now, I appreciate it, man. Definitely plug yourself with Premium Takes and the other podcast.
Yeah, Premium Takes on Sundays is a show where we talk all sports, what's going on in the world, not just football. So come on, listen to that if you want takes about basketball.
Can I ask Adam one quick question?
Yes.
Do you think Cody Rhodes is debuting this Sunday at WrestleMania against Seth Rollins, or do you think there's going to be some bullshit Brooklyn Brawler nonsense?
Well,
I would love if it's Cody Rhodes, man.
Rumor is Cody Rhodes. I would probably do that if I were him. Because
I was just so that he was going to show up last night at Monday.
No, the mystery opponent. Yeah. You can't give Seth Rollins.
How are you guys
Brooklyn
watching?
Brawler.
Are you guys watching through the Peacock? Because
yes.
Okay, cool. I might have to start up my free trial again to watch it.
Dude, it's
yeah.
The best match that I think is going to come out there. And you can get this because Premium Takes we're gonna try to do a show before that to preview WrestleMania, but Edge and AJ Styles are gonna tear the house down on Sunday. That is probably the marquee event. I don't even want to see Brock versus Roman because I think it's a dumb waste of my time match. Roman should have lost the title a long time ago, but that's here nor there. But yeah. Manny, to answer your question, it's probably going to be Cody Rhodes coming out. They're not going to dog Seth Rollins like that. Seth Rollins has carried them, so they're not going to just bring out like Doink the Clown and say, "Hey, here you go. Here's WrestleMania moment."
Yeah.
Some washed up.
I just need Cody Rhodes to come out to his theme music, not the smoke and mirrors. I need him to come out to wrestling as only one royal family. I need that. Yeah. I need that. The roof is going to explode.
I think there's going to be a heel turn with Paul Heyman. I think he's going to screw over Roman. But anyways,
bro, somebody just put something that would be hilarious if it is. They say, "Watch it be Shane McMahon."
That would be cool too. That would be funny. At least it'd be a good.
I wouldn't like it, but it would be funny. Like, I'd laugh at it. I wouldn't like it.
I would cancel my Peacock subscription right away.
Wait, Alex, what you talking about, bro? Nobody hated Cody in AEW. What? No, did y'all hate Cody? I loved Cody in AEW. That man was amazing in AEW.
AEW is good. AEW is good for what they are. They're good.
Yeah. Well, anyways, guys, I was trying to head out, but Premium Takes, we go over wrestling. We go over every type of sport you can think of, and we just have a lot of fun. And the Hurry Up is just something I do. It gives you a quick take on football, not just the Giants. If I talk free agency news, I talk NFL news, and I'm going to try to do a top 10 mock draft a week before the show, which isn't going to be much fun because we all know what's going on, but it'll be something to get out there just to see my thoughts about it. But guys, thanks for having me. Hub, always a pleasure. Manny, great stuff. I'm out.
Hey, man. Thank you, Adam.
Appreciate
Have
you,
a good
boss.
one,
Be
man.
safe. God bless.
Adam actually tuned out at the right time because we're hitting that hour 30 mark. Manny, feel free right now to go ahead once again, plug the Breaking Tackles podcast. This is about like the third or fourth time you've been on here. I love talking to you, man.
Yeah.
Whenever you guys got time, yo, just let me know. I'll pop on, bro. Just let me know.
Man,
but guys, you definitely need to check out Manny's channel, man.
I appreciate that, Coach. Definitely will have you on for sure. And Breaking Tackles and Your Giants podcast. We go here and we just talk about just Giants in general. We're actually going to start a new series this week called Film Talk, where we're pretty much just going to go and break down 3 players' tape, not go extensively into each player, but just like 10 minutes on each player. You know, we're going to break down this week Trey McBride, Kenyon Green, and I forget the third dude. We're gonna, pretty much we're just gonna go and break them down and just kind of just talk about tape with them and just kind of go over what we like, what we don't like. You know, guys that we think that might be there available. Again, it's gonna be your boy, George Karsopoulos. Yeah,
wow,
we're gonna
you
go
say
over
his
that
name
guy.
like that.
Yeah. By the way, that stream on Sunday was wild. Good shit, man. But yeah, no, we do breaking tackles. That's what we do. Follow my boy BT Giants on Twitter. Follow me, Manny Madrigal 58 on Twitter, and I also contribute to Film Talk Football's website. I have an article on there, and I'll be coming out with another article next week.
But hey, man, thank you so much, guys. You heard him where to find him. You heard what they're gonna be doing in the upcoming breakdowns. Make sure you check it out. And of course, a big thank you to you. I feel like PBS right now, and the viewers like you. Thank you. But no, for real. Without you guys, the streams are not popping like this. We don't have consistently 70 people tuning in every Tuesday night. That's incredible. Hit the like button before you go out. Share it out. Channel does not exist without y'all and does not run without y'all. Thank you. And we out.